I saw this, when I saw this, that you were playing this piece, I started looking for it because I was like to look at stuff beforehand, and I couldn't find it, but I found a whole bunch of different versions of it. So there was one for 2 pianos, 8 hands, and it's kind of wild. So I looked up Engelmann, Hans Engelmann, and he died very young. He came to the United States from Germany. You probably already looked this up, so. But he's kind of contemporary with what was happening with marches, John Philip Sousa and that sort of thing. I remember we had, when I was growing up, my grandmother lived with us, who was born and raised in Germany. And so we had this record of German marches, and I would play that, and she would just love it, so that tradition, really comes out. He's North German, like she was, sort of comes out of that culture. So it came, over, he brought it to the United States, but, others were doing it too. So the form that you have here is the same as what Sousa would use for his marches, so you'd have the repeats and all this stuff, then you'd have the trio, and then you'd go back and play the first part again. And that really has its roots way back in the minuet, early on, even predating Haydn, but definitely with Haydn, and then in Chopin's hands it became, or not Chopin, I'm sorry, Chopin on the brain, Beethoven's hand, that becomes scherzo and so on, and then that form gets borrowed. So that's really kind of what you're dealing with here, is this kind of a march thing. This is such a fun piece. I really enjoyed hearing it. It was great. So, Cade, you're on the bottom, right? Am I saying your name right? Cade, okay, and Nathan, all right. I have a duo partner, and I've had a few, so I do a lot of 2 pianos and piano 4 hands. I always like to be on the bottom because I'm a pedal control freak. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And so you have the challenge of pedaling for somebody else. So one of the things that I do as a secondo player, and with my partners, we always swap off some, because it's important, it's good for us. But principally, I like being on the bottom, and my partner likes being on top. So we'll switch on like one piece, and the rest I'll play on bottom. So the challenge that you have, Cade, is pedaling measures 3 and 4 for your brother. Okay? So if it was me doing this, if I was on the bottom, what I would do to practice is I would play his part and pedal it. Okay? So it's not too hard. So can you do that? You can play it an octave lower, it doesn't matter. That's it. Right, and then it goes down to E. Yeah, that's it. It's C sharp. There you go, yeah. Okay, so play that with both hands and pedal it as if you're playing it. I know, isn't this horrible? Talk about putting you on the spot, huh? B flat, there you go. That's it. Both hands are playing the same thing. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't play it staccato. If I was pedaling it, I would pedal, so you can see my foot. Pedal up. So actually change the pedal there. But then come back down so that you pedal the A7 too. Try it again. And change. Yeah, you're gonna do a change, just boink. Okay? Right, because we want it to be legato. Yeah. And if you check your brother's hands out, he needs 7 fingers to do that. I assume he doesn't have that. So you're going to have to do it with your foot. So the pedaling, again, would be like da, da. Nathan, you play it and pedal it as you would like to pedal it. All right? Yeah. So this is the other solution to that. If I was doing this with Elaine or Svetlana, one of my partners, I would just get my foot out of the way and let them pedal it. It's really, really hard to do that. you know, because it's really difficult to do. And it's not, you're not that far apart, you know. So when you do ya, da, da, dee, yum, just move, and then Nathan, have your foot in position. You could even, if you can do it, is you could pedal it with your left foot. I mean, it's just one change. Just try the first 4 measures and see if you can get that to work, all right? Yeah, so there you go. So just, right, don't move your heel. Just get your toes out of the way so he can put his heel up there, his toes up. And then out of the way.
You can move too.
Yeah, you have to coordinate it, but do you see what I mean? So that way you can both have control of the pedal. All right. Other than that, when you're both playing, most of the time, Cade, you're going to be, you know, the guy in charge of pedal. It doesn't require a whole lot. There's a few places you could add some for color, but it's quite good. So talking about the piece as a whole, so the introduction there, that's the spot that I'd like you to work on that first 4 measures. You know, it has a lot of character. It's really fun. It sounds like circus music. I really like it. I gotta see if I can find the 4-hand version because I would really like to use this. Okay, so most of the time, Nathan, you have the melody up there, right? Okay. So, Cade, I think you're doing a really good job of dealing with balance and so on. Sometimes, Nathan, we could use a little more sound, especially in your right hand, so your brother doesn't get a hernia trying to stay underneath you. So you want to give him enough sound that he can, you know, that he's not kind of trapped there. So let's pick it up. Nathan, how about if you do the ya-da-da-da-dum, just the upbeat into the 3rd line. That's your 17. Okay, ya-da-da-da-boom-dum. Okay, so can you do your left hand alone for me, just Nathan? Okay, do you see the problem? All right. Yeah. Now, the thing is, 3, 4, 5 is not the easiest. How are you fingering it? Are you going 1, 2, 3, 4?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Okay, ya-da-da-da-da. So what I'd like you to try, and when you play 4 hands, you know, you're not always sitting with your arms in an ideal position, so you have to kind of just deal with it. So play your right hand alone. Ya-da-da-da-dum. Okay, ya-da-da-da-da. Once more. Yeah, be a little more assertive there. Yes, okay. So let's talk about dynamics for a second. It's really important to keep in mind that when you see a dynamic marking, the composer is not telling you what to do. The composer is telling you what we should hear, okay? You're playing way up in the, you know, past the attic of the piano. And if you look inside the piano, those strings are like this long, you know? And so 9 foot or not, I mean, it's like they're that long, you know, so there's not going to be a huge amount of sound. So I think that I would bring that out a little bit more, okay? And then in your left hand, ya-da-da-da-dum, okay, don't play staccato, but pretend you are, ya-da-da-da-da, okay? Just imagine that you're playing staccato. Try it now, both hands. So which is your problem hand, the right or the left? Oh, yeah, okay. So this is a little bit like what Anna and I were working on, okay? Is that what's happened is that your left hand fingers, first of all, are like the right hand's doing this, I don't really care. Okay, so you want to lead with the left hand. Ya-da-da-da-dum. So do your left hand alone a few times. Sure. Right. You know, what's interesting is you would think the problem would be 4, 5, right? It's not 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Oh, good for you. There you go. Sure. Now, you're going to spy on your left hand. Okay. your right hand as if there's keys up there. Yada da da. Yes. Aha. See. That's it. That's more. There you go. Okay, now put both hands on the keys. Lead with the left. Lead with the left hand. Great. Okay, so it's those, they just go mush. So this is again a little bit of what I talked about with Anna, only on a more microcosm, is it's two sets. Yada, retake, yada da. Yada bada bum. Okay? Try that. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so here's another way to practice it. Yada da, and stop on your third finger. Yada da, just that far. Yada da, both hands.
Third finger or fourth?
Both hands. Yada da, so you're gonna stop. That's it. No, just yada da. That's it. Now start there and go yada da. There you go. Yada da, ba da. So do the whole thing and repeat the E. Yada da, da da da. Again. Again. Okay, make that left hand do its job. Good job. Again. Now put it all together. There you go. Okay? All right. You just, it can do it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just like, nobody's hearing me anyway. So all the way through, when you have these octave unisons with your right hand and left hand, your left hand is shirking its responsibility. And there's nothing wrong with your technique as far as that. You just have to, sort of be the bossy parent and just say, no, you will do this. You have 2 children and your left-hand child is a little unruly. So do the splitting it up so that you have the set, yada-dum, da-da-dum. That's helpful. And this is really helpful, too. So, you can play it perfectly well by itself. You proved that numerous times. And as soon as your right hand comes in, it's like, meh. So that all the way through, I would kind of take that apart. It's not going to be a difficult fix once you get the hang of it. So I'd like to jump ahead to the trio. Okay, so can you start right on the trio?
Both of us?
Both of us, yeah. Okay, so same thing that I said before, Nathan, is don't let your brother get a hernia trying to stay underneath you. Give him some sound. Surprisingly enough, when you see that piano, to make it sound piano, Cade, you have more control over the dynamics. So the upper part really can alter between forte, mezzo forte, maybe mezzo piano, but stay up there. It's the lower part, yum dum dum dum. That's going to speak to us as piano, and we'll still hear the melody. Okay? So try it again. Nathan, I want you to stay forte the whole time, okay? Engelmann's not here, he won't know. Great, okay. So you won't want to perform it quite that way, but the difference for your part is going to be a lot smaller, okay? Cade, let's do your part by yourself. That needs to be bigger. Okay? Right. Okay. So when you get to your piano, that needs to be really super rhythmic. Yum, da, bum, bum, yum, ba, ba, bum. Want to hear those repeated notes. Yum, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum. Start there. Yapapam. Yeah, exactly. That's the ticket. So don't be afraid of the forte. His part is much higher than yours. You're not going to cover him up, okay? And if you do, he has to play louder. Okay? All right, let's try it again. So this time, Nathan, I want forte, ya da da, mezzo forte, ya da 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 dum, bum 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 ba dum, and keep that melody in your head. Here we go. Stuff here that you need to do that same kind of work that we were doing earlier, because it's even in your right hand, it's a little mushy, and it doesn't have to be, because you've proven that you don't have to do that. So do the same kind of thing. Let's just fiddle around with this a second. All right, so in the trio, measure 1 2 3 4 5, right hand, ya da 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 da. Yeah. So I'll ask you the same question I've asked before, do you know for sure what fingering you're using, or are you winging it?
No, I haven't written, but
And it's a C natural, right? Ya da 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 da. So 1 2 3 2 1 2 3 5.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 2 3 2 1 2 3 5. Now I'm going to ask you to do the same kind of thing. What's dealing with your right hand is the stuff Anna was dealing with her left hand. So ya da 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 dum bum ba. Yeah, but your thumb didn't go on C. Ya da 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 ba. 1 2 3 2 1 da da. There you go. The reason the thumb on C is a good idea is it's your strongest finger, and C is on the beat. Ya da 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 boo da doo dee dum. So when it goes on like the second 16th, sometimes it has to, but then you have that metric problem, is that your thumb wants to be on the beat. So that's easier. Can you try it again? That's it. Good. Good. Now reverse it. Short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. That's it. Uh-huh. Right. Do it again. Good. Now, ya da 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 da. Yeah, actually do 1 and 3. 1, ya pa 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 pa. That's the idea, yeah. In this case, when we were dealing with a longer passage, then doing it off meter was helpful. In this case, it's only 8 notes. So we want to set that second beat. Yum, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. Okay? Now, do it one more time. Yum, ba 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 bum, ba 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 bum. Right. Ya da 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 da. Get that thumb set in there. Da 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 da. Yeah, if you've been used to putting your thumb on the D, ya da 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 dee da, you can. I mean, it's, you don't have to change it. I think it's a better fingering. The most important thing, though, is that you know how you're going to finger it and that you stay consistent with it, okay? So add your left hand now, ya da dee da 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 dum. That's it, right. Okay, so throughout, when you have these passages, that's how to practice them, okay? You've got nice, strong fingers, I've heard it. So I'm suspecting that it's, at least some of it is fingering related. Okay. So let's do the trio once more, all right? dynamic thing is working a lot better. So the first measure of the trio, you play yum, yum, bum, ba-dum, right? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures later, yum, bum, ba-dum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 measures later, yum, bum, ba-dum. Let me guess, 8 measures later, yeah. I mean, you play this multiple times. So the thing is that when you have that repetition, you have to think about, all right, this phrase responds to this phrase, responds to this phrase. You have to kind of make something happen. Or it's like you're reading a story that's like, it was a beautiful day in the park. It was a beautiful day in the park. It was a beautiful day in the park. It was a beautiful day. You know, it's like, okay, so what happened in the park? All right, so you want to make sure that the story, you know, I put in quotes, you know, continues there. So you guys have to sort of decide how you're going to handle that. But it's what you want to be sure is that every time you get to ya da da da, it's not the same. Okay? Just try it and think about it as you play.
From where? The trip. What's the beginning?
Again, it's, you know, you can tweak the dynamics a little bit, okay? Now, Cade, let's talk about your pedal here. So what I'd like you to try is in your part, pedal, 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 okay? And then you come up, all right? So what happens is that you have a tendency on the last thing to just pick your foot up. And so the first 2 chords, you know, will resonate, and then the last one kind of goes puh. Because when you have your foot down, you have 88 strings that vibrate for you, even though you're only playing 6 notes, okay? And when you pick that pedal up, you know, 82 of those strings disappear. So you want pedal, 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 up, okay? Try that. I'm going to give you a pedal exercise, okay? So put your foot down, start with it down, okay? And you're going to go up, 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 okay? So start with it down. That's it. Now up, right. It's one motion. It's just boink, boink, boink. Yeah, okay? So try it with your chords. And does that. Don't play a staccato because that's really hard. Hold the note down and your foot is like a staccato. A little bit better. Try it again. Foot down. Yeah, the difficulty for you is that your foot and your hands tend to want to work together. And they don't. There's a really good pedal exercise that helps you learn this technique. So you're going to take one finger and you're going to play a C major scale. Exactly, okay? So your foot is down. Okay, don't play, but your foot's down. Now, when you push the bell, your foot bounces. But don't play staccato, keep your finger down. the bottom, you know, and I speak this you know, from personal experience, is that you have the pedal difficulties to the second power, because you know, it's bad enough to try to pedal for yourself, and now you have to pedal for somebody else as well. It's really, really hard. So you want to get that technique down, you know, and let your hands give your foot help. So don't play staccatos there, okay? Even if they're sort of short, you don't want that really, really short kind of thing, okay? Try it one more time, and then we'll put the two of you together. And then we're done. Much better, but pedal that one too. Nope, your foot and hand are doing it. There you go. Better. Okay, Nathan, let's add you and see how this goes. Start with your foot down. That's always easier when you're first learning to do this. Almost. Good. Do it again. Start with your foot down. Ignore your brother. All right? I know he's right next to you, but ignore him. Okay? Your chords are your buzzer that's making your foot bounce up. Okay? That's it. Try it once more. Good. That was great. Do it again. Nice. Much better. That's the ticket. It's a knack. You know, it's just, you get used to it. But that C scale with one finger is the best way I know to kind of get that technique kind of under your belt. Good. Okay, I think it's got a lot of character, so you guys know what you need to work on. But I think it's a really fun piece. I'm so glad to have heard it. Thank you. Okay.